can put on my wings and I can get my long overdue release. If you let me apologize for what I've done, you gotta forgive me. I'm not quite what I will become, no. But if heaven says it, it's fine to let me slide. I'll give it just one more try. Just one more try. And I believe I'll get it right. If I leave here tonight, I said I wanna leave here, I wanna leave here. I wanna move on with the rest of my life. Yeah, I wanna move on with the rest of my life. It's coming around, it's coming around. This sleepy town, this is the sound of yesterday shutting down. Let me apologize for everything, yeah. All of the pain that the demons in my bottle bring, yeah. Y'all, but if heaven says it is fine to let me slide, I'm giving it one more try. You know I need a little wind to give me flight. I think I'm gonna leave here tonight. I'm gonna leave, I wanna leave here. I wanna move on with the rest of my life. I'm gonna move it along. I'm gonna move it along. Well, it's coming around. This sleepy town. This is the sound. This is the sound, y'all. Shut it down. It's coming around. This sleepy town. Yesterday, put it behind me. I wanna put it behind me.
All right, good morning. My name is Andrew Masters. Welcome to Studio Time. This is the morning mix. So I'll let you know, I just got this summing mixer, and I also, by the way, logistics, if there's any technical stuff, please let me know. I think I've got this all figured out so that it should be smooth, and you should actually be able to hear everything we're doing with the mix in real time. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've done a live stream, and I've had a lot of rocky streams and failures. So you'll have to work with me on this first one. But yes, so the idea here is the morning mix. I have to do a mix, or I'm choosing to do a mix. This is actually this particular song we're going to work on. I have already mixed, and I'm going to pull it up again, and we're going to spread it out across this summing mixer, right? So I just got this API. I believe it's the ASM 164 summing mixer, and I have been running mixes through it all week and a half, something like that. And it has been, well, it's been a lot. It's been somewhat of a, I'm trying to not swear here, but it's been awesome. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this mix here. I think I've got it set up so that you can actually see me. You can see the screen here. So I'm going to open this up here in the background. This session the song is called Falling Out. It's by a rock band from Texas. This guy, Ian. The band's called Counterspell. And I got hired to mix it a while ago, and the song was just so awesome, and I wondered if we could recut drums. So we recut the drums here in this studio, and I played on it, and it was so fun. It's a kind of a style of rock music that I and a lot of people grew up on, and I had so much fun playing on it. And then when I got to the mixing portion, I, I think I spent a weekend on it. I went like all in on it, probably more time than I would normally spend on a mix because I just thought it was a cool track. And he took the time to actually get the DI signal of the guitars. So I reamped all the guitars through different amps and pedals and had a lot of fun with that. So I'm pulling up this session here, and it's going to take its sweet time. Pro Tools here, just showing itself. And, I mixed it in stereo because I didn't have the summing mixer. I was using basically how I've been mixing is with hardware inserts. So I've been spreading stuff out or inserting hardware that I use across the mix, but it's been internal within Pro Tools. And, the idea for anyone I'm going to just guess that most people watching this understand mixing, but the idea is you're taking a bunch of tracks and you're mixing them down to two, left and right. And now that I've gone through the journey of, working in tracking studios in LA, big, large format consoles, I had a console here in my studio for a year. Working through that, I primarily used that as a tracking console. I did not do much mixing or summing because it didn't have automation, and it was missing a few things that made that workflow more simple. So I have gotten rid of the console, and I've been using the SSL, UF8, and UF1 automation for everything on the mix, and it's been hilariously awesome because this is what I use anyway. I'm mixing with faders internally, and then when I got rid of the console, I labeled the patch bay so that there could be a summing mixer because I just know myself too well. So I've got this summing mixer in here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically change this. Oh, you need some more juice here. I got low output. I'll bring up the mics a little bit. So I'm gonna adjust the routing on this session here. Let me know if you guys can see it. I think it's all working. From the stereo output to the spread out across the summing mixer. Okay. So we'll just let's just listen first and see, make sure you guys can hear everything. I'm gonna start from the top. All right, so fun fact here. I've got some different hardware since when I mix this, so I'm just going to first kind of go through and double check what we're using on inserts here and make sure we have the gear that I want to use. Okay, so I basically got, this is a rock track, so it's live drums. We've got some guitar tracks, doubled guitars. We've got a bass, and then we've got some vocals, and I think a little bit of harmonies on the chorus, and maybe on the bridge. No, nothing on the bridge. And this is just straight up rock and roll. So I'm going to jump over to the drums here, and let's check out on the drum kit. Okay, so I have a couple hardware inserts on here. I want to draw attention to like what I'm using here because it's pretty simple. I really appreciate a good input signal, a good input chain, and very minimal stuff on the mix, on the actual tracks inside of Pro Tools. So these are both hardware inserts. We've got the SSL 611 EQs on the bus, and then we have this bus comp. This is the WA bus comp, which I've been using on drums a bunch. for a long time. So I'm going to actually switch this. I'm going to turn, and then I have this Pro L. I'm going to turn the Pro L off. So let's listen to the drums. Let's turn the drum group on. And then let's kind of see what this sounds like. Okay, so I'm going to, and by the way, let me know technically if there's anything going on here. I'm going to leave this mic on. I'm mixing through speakers, which is just how I mix. Sorry. So if hopefully the mic doesn't mess that up too much for you here. I'll try and automate it for you while we're going through here, so you can get the best listen. All right, so it looks like I updated some of these. I've got the parallel tracks here with Transient Designer. This is something I picked up from Paul Moak. Shout out Paul Moak. So we're sending the kick and the snare to their own parallel tracks, and those are hitting Transient Designer with the attack cranked up on them. We've got a kick and a snare sample here. Let's listen to that without those, see what happens. Sounds great. That's without the samples. And then I've got a couple different rooms here. There's like, this looks like the Sound City room setup here, and then an EMT plate, which the drum bus is sending to. And then I have room mics on the actual drums here. So let's listen to, I'm going to just turn up the room so you can hear them. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, what is this? There's also a crush track that had a hardware insert on it that is not. Okay, that's in the room. Cool. First thing, let's put the decomp on the room mic here. Looks like we lost our camera. I'm going to switch cams here. And hopefully this works for you guys. All right. Okay, so room decomp. I'm operating as a live stream producer and mixer here, so forgive me. Hello to everyone who is tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. It looks like we got a audience all over from here. Super cool. Okay, so I'm gonna put the decomp on the room. That's the first thing. This is a new addition from Audioscape into here. So this thing is smoking the room mic. Listen to that difference here. I'm gonna turn it off. And that's actually a little bit closer to how I would want it to be. I think I automated the room mic on this track originally. I'm not going to mess with that too much, so I'm going to just try and get that output of the compressor to match. Cool. And let's put this crush mic back in here. All right, and then just for fun, I have no idea what samples I'm using here. Usually it's the samples that I made in my sample pack. So I'm just going to turn them on and just do a quick with and without listen and see what changes here. This is without. And that's with, and it looks like nothing is coming through there. Let's see what's going on. Oh yeah, literally nothing. I'm pretty sure I was using a sample on this. It must have got turned off. Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, well, basically what I want to do is I want to take each element of this and I want to spread it across this API summing mixer. So here's how I've been doing it. The routing is interesting. So I'm basically going to spread out all the different elements across different channels of the summing mixer. Where am I looking? I'm looking over here now. And except for 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, I'm not sending anything through because of a convoluted routing situation in here. But I could monitor through the API and just hear that. When everything hits the API, it has an insert point on the bus. And I have moved the compressor that I normally use as my hardware mix bus insert physically over next to the summing mixer and physically patched it in as the mix bus insert. So that is the SSL bus plus. And then there is the insert button on the actual summing mixer. So that is inserted on the mix bus of the summing mixer. So the output of the mix bus of the summing mixer is being patched just left and right into inputs 31 and 32. So you can see on the left side of my mix window here, I have this aux, which is my mix return. And that has in 31, 32, and then it's out 1, 2. So that's why the summing is, I'm basically starting on channels 3 and 4 and going up to whatever. I think it's 9 and 10 on here. I made some master faders on this. So 3 and 4 are vocals because I want vocals right up front. So I'm going to basically find all my vocal tracks here. Lead, we've got some effects, and the buses, and we're going to just move these over to output 3 and 4. So now these are going to be the first things hitting. Next, we're moving over to electric guitar. So I'm going to find these electric guitar buses and any effects that they're touching, and I'm going to change the output of those to 5 and 6. So I'm going to change output 1, 2 to 5 and 6. That should be all of the electric guitars. Bass is going to come out 7. So this is like this, if you haven't worked with summing mixer, it's basically like spreading your mix across a console. You're just picking channels that you're going to submix through. I'm not doing every single individual channel. I'm taking my buses of all of my drum tracks and then spreading those to their own channels. So drums are going to go to, actually, I think I like drums on 5, 6. That's what I normally do. And then I do, let's see, 7 guitars. 1, 2, 3. Guitars are 9, 10 is what I normally do. Sorry, guys, you gotta bear with me here. 7, 9, 10. Okay. So theoretically, that is all the tracks because this is a very simple instrumentation on here. Shout out to everyone watching, by the way. I want to thank our friends at Sweetwater who generously offered to sponsor this stream here. I'm working on a summing mixer video for this channel where I want to actually kind of go in depth on using summing and the different ideas of how to work with summing mixers, because there's I've talked to a lot of people about this and I was on the fence for a long time of even using them myself. And some people kind of think it's hocus pocus. nonsense. And when you do A/B tests with everything matched, they think there's no difference. But um, I think that's sort of the wrong way to look at it, because just like with a console, when you start a mix on a console, you have way different headroom, you have way different behaviors, you have way different character when you run audio through it, which what it does is it informs, like the decisions you're going to make in the mix. So if you start with the summing mixer and then you mix into the summing mixer, then you actually get very different results than if you mix without it, because you just have a lot of different behaviors and character. So yeah, look forward to that video coming. I'm going to have some interviews and some features from some very, very successful Grammy-winning mixing engineers who all use them, and we'll get their takes and perspectives on it and why they use it and why they love it and stuff like that. So working on that. But in the meantime, I'm literally doing mixes with it. So I just thought it would be fun to do a morning mix show to kind of let you in on the actual process and hear it yourself while I do a mix. So hopefully you got your coffees ready. I've got Cole, who just showed up. Cole, you're welcome to hang out in here if you want while I mix. Cole, everyone. All right, so I've got all the routing, and now it's just, if theoretically it all works, we're going to see meters move over here on the summing mixer, and then we're going to see a return on our aux right here at the front of the mix, which is our mix return. So yeah, let's check that out. I've got drums summing through here. Let's go back to the beginning. All right, so everything's showing up. Let's make sure vocals are coming in. So as you can see, I made some master faders here in the front of the session. These are just essentially my meters of everything that's going out to the summing mixer. And then 1, 2, just like in a normal in the box mix, is now reflecting the input from the summing mixer with some of the stuff that I'll usually put on here. So I'm going to turn off this little virtual tape machine. We've got a Pro Q with a filter, a Moog, airband, and then I'll usually keep this Pro L on here. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit while we're mixing. Again, let me know if there's any level stuff going on here. Oh boy. You guys are getting mono audio? That totally blows. Let's see here. That might be a stream thing. I don't totally know. Oh, what the hell? Are you guys able to see me right now? What does it say? Studio display. Oh, there we go. Cool. I don't know why it wouldn't be in stereo. It's all stereo over here. Let me just double check. Select stream. Can you double check that on headphones? Okay, thank you. All right, I'm gonna move back over here. Okay. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, so sorry. Somebody asked about the API summing mixer. How many channels it has? It has 16 channels. The cool thing about it is you have two separate buses, and then you also have individual insert points on the on each individual channel that you run into the summing mixer. So you can physically patch in inserts through each channel and have like actual physical patches. Now I'm not doing that right now, mostly because two things. My patch bay is just so many DB25s right now. It's kind of a nightmare to get back there. Number two, I have all my hardware set up as hardware inserts, and I really like the flexibility of just being able to click and move inserts across the mix. Now, what a lot of people will say is like, "Oh, you should use Flock to do that," and I've had just no interest in doing that personally, but I did just have the guys from Wolf Audio in here, and they created sort of their version of it. It's called the Pro Patch, and that sounds a little more interesting to me because it's all relay based, which means your signal is not passing through like chips each time it goes through an instance, where apparently that is what's happening with the other Flock thing. So if you are piling up chains, it's just running through all this extra stuff that's not exclusively your gear. All right, let's see. I'm going to jump back to the mix here. Mutomatic would be your best friend, so you don't have to worry about your mic. Thank you. I'll check that out. Yes, I am using the Antelope, and it's freaking awesome. Okay, I'm going to go back to this thing here. I guess I can see if I can change the setting in real time on the audio. Let me see. Stream, output, audio. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in real time, but it should be. It's set to be stereo, and it's definitely coming in. So we'll have to double check that for the next time, I guess. But let's jump back into this mix here. I'm going to move my little OBS out of the way. All right, so you guys can see. Chat. Okay. So now we've got everything spread out. I'm going to jump to, I'm going to mute the vocal for just a minute. We'll do it on the master. All right. Now, call me crazy, but it already feels like it sounds cooler than it did. Okay, so I'm going to jump in on drums first here. Oops. Let's turn that automation off on the aux. Yeah, so this is kind of interesting doing that, almost going backwards here, where I've already done automation passes and stuff. So I'm going to just kind of bypass some of that right now until I get things to where I'm happy with them, because part of the magic of using this is just coming in and re-evaluating the balance across the board and just seeing how the behavior changes. So originally on this, I think I used this SVT. This is a Ampeg plugin, and I generally don't love the amp sim plugins. I don't know why. I don't love them that much. But this one, I think I'm just using the cabinet on it. And let's listen to it again solo. I'm going to bypass it. So something about whatever's happening in there just feels like it fits a lot better, glues a lot better with the guitars and the drums. Something I'll point out too is I won't linger too long on any one particular thing. Kind of try to keep perspective during the mix and just go back to the big picture. Something. Let's see what's going on the drum bus, the drums. Okay, yeah, let's get that compressor on the drums. So now I want to use this 1178. This is the Audioscape AS70A. So you don't get to see it, but. This is the magic of hardware. I mean, before. Let's listen before. And after. Much better. And then let's figure out what's going on with this crush mic. All right, now let's pull the vocals in and kind of hear this in context. Bring that up.
Tell me upside down. Spin this all around. Did your words leave a bad taste in your mouth? Searching for the truth beyond every move. Is there still a place for me in you? Is every falling feel I'm falling down? Is every inch of ground losing what we found? What left now? Is there something more through another door? Can this be the thing it was before? Is every falling feel I'm falling down? Is every inch of ground losing what we found? What losing now? Suffer me, wall down, make you walk, do or die. Give it all, try to lie. Let me breathe, still alive, behind me, fire night.
All right, so here's something that I've noticed after 5 or so mixes with this. I'll occasionally use, before I had the Summit mixer, I would use these harmonic distortion or saturation plugins to just give more of, a vibe to, or some sort of mid-range character or bite to whatever that thing was. In this case, it's on the solo. And it really is cool. A lot of these plugins are awesome. But when I noticed when I started running things through this, I just find myself turning things off and immediately, oh, that sounds better. This is just a good mixing tip in general when you're plugin diving on sounds and you're especially in solo. when you tweak and tweak and tweak, just turn that thing off real quick and just make sure that you're not absolutely insane and that it didn't just sound better before. But specifically with breaking things out through the hardware and then hitting the summing mixer, I'm just finding I can turn more and more of the stuff off and it just sounds bigger, fuller, nicer. We had Paul, oh my God, how embarrassing is this? Paul Wolf in here, the former owner of API and Tone Lux and current owner of Wolf Audio. And we're talking about this, and he was just saying there's something about, I'm going to butcher what he said, but like the electrons bouncing off each other and spreading it out across different channels overall, that is just so much more forgiving to the audio. And it kind of makes mixing so much easier, where you just pull stuff up and spread it out and it just immediately sounds great. And to me, then you can really put your attention and focus on the performance, meaning the automation of what's there, rather than diving on plugins to try to make things sound cool. And generally touching the fader and doing automation passes is going to give you much, much faster and much better results overall than, stacking 4 different plugins onto something. So yes, that's my hardware versus plugin rant. Let's see if we got any good questions in here. Let's see. Adds up. Yeah, expensive. 8K for the Wolf. Yeah, true. I think both the Flock Audio and the Wolf Pro Patch are just very, very expensive pieces of equipment. You're on Antelope. Yep. 8K. Yeah, that's true. Thought you had a full console. Did have a console for a year. It was a very romantic year. And then we went our separate ways. I've made a video on this channel where I've broken it down in depth and I've talked about it 5,000 times. So if you want to see that, you can go look for it. Need to check OBS setup. Yeah, I'm using this Rodecaster, and I've got the playback in stereo and double checked all that, so it must be an OBS related thing. The song is called Falling Out. This is a band that you can't even find yet because they're not even like properly launched, and I'm probably totally screwing up their launch of this single by doing another mix. Unless this one sucks, then they'll use the one before, but if this one is better, then it'll probably delay it a little bit. But I'll you can follow them on Instagram. Counterspell is the name of the band. I think it's Counterspell Band, if you want to follow along so you can see when that comes out. API, yeah, I'd love to hear this with SSL Fusion. I'm using the SSL Bus Plus right now. So we've got some compression. We've got the feedback mode. We've got the low threshold on 4K mode on yellow, which is like their saturation level. A little bit of low shelf. I don't really think there's any high shelf. And yeah, I love it. It sounds amazing. I'll bypass it real quick so you can hear it in real time. Yeah, I fell in love with that Bus Plus. I don't know, a year and a half ago. Thing's amazing. I'm probably not super well equipped to do a full breakdown on that piece of gear. There's 900,000 things on it, but we might do some like very simple, specific pieces of content on very specific features of it because it is a beast and it is something that you can basically turn on, and if you have a good setting going, just kind of let it rock and tweak from song to song like you would a console mix bus. Okay. All right, let's jump in here. I'm just going to focus on these guitars a little bit. And because I think I have some of those black box on them. And then I think I did have the ATR. That's right. That the ATR was doing a big amount of color change and turned it off. So I'm going to just focus in on this here. Do I recommend the AT M50Xs? I don't recommend anything for headphones, man. I'm not the guy. I don't mix on headphones. I kind of hate headphones. Like no matter what, except for podcasts. I never mix them. I keep putting them on because I'm trying to remind myself whether or not my mic is on and you can hear me. But yeah, I don't know. Mix with whatever you like and whatever works best for you. As far as headphones and speakers. If you're curious about any of the stuff we're using, the API summing mixer, all the details, I think I linked it at the top of the description. Oh, and a couple plugs here. The drums. If you are looking to get better at recording drums, we're working on a drum course that's going to be a principle-based drum recording course that you can apply the process to wherever you are with whatever you have to get the sounds that you're looking for. There's a sign up for the waitlist down in the description. There's a bunch of stuff down in the description. Go check it out. I put a lot of effort into what's down there. And if you're looking to get better at what you're doing, check that stuff out. Okay, let's listen to these guitars. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's some sort of high shelf EQ on this ATR. Yeah, that sounds dope. Oh man, we're still getting this. Hey, can you look into the stereo thing? How to? Do you have any ideas on switching that? Okay, here I'm gonna zoom in on this stereo thing because I'd love for you guys um, to hear what we're hearing here in studio. Settings. Yeah, and if you oh, here we go. All right, audio. Audio. Yeah, it says general stereo, desktop, roadcaster, main stereo, output, streaming audio. Yeah, it doesn't have anything here. That could be it, I guess. Stream. Advanced. I'm going to jump over the chat here. All right, yeah, why mono? Yeah, definitely don't want it to be in mono. Maybe that would be a good cover up for this stream fail. It's always one good stream fail. Let me check it on the YouTube side. If you guys have some comments in the meantime while we're troubleshooting this, drop some comments down below, and we'll see if we can get this going in the background. 8x submixes. Yeah, 16 channels on the API, and you can do with that, sort of whatever works for your mix. Technically, 8 works. There's a lot of subbing mixers with, 8 to 16, maybe even 32. I think I had the Burl, which had 32, but it was kind of a confusing setup on that one because the first 8 channels were mono, which was interesting, and there was no pans and there was no inserts, and yeah, that was I didn't totally understand with that one, but this one makes the most sense to my brain. And so far it's made the mixing process so much more fun, in the sense that I can pull stuff up and just get mixing. Yes, drums are going. Wait, are the drums in stereo? Let's suss this out because some people are saying everything's in mono. Okay. Dang, how cool is that, dude? Well, you got to mix in mono anyway, right? Something tells me I might have to stop the stream to change any of that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat if we stop the stream for a sec to adjust this, if you'll hang around. Actually, screw it. I'm going to do it anyway. If this fails, oh, look at that thumbs up. If this fails, thank you guys for coming and dropping in and checking this out. I want to do more of these. I'm doing a lot of mixing lately, and it's been a ton of fun. If you, here's a little rant thing I want to do. I'm trying to work with more bands. So I'm in Nashville. The studio's here in Nashville. We've got an amazing studio setup, perfect for bands. I grew up playing in bands. I grew up listening to rock, but I'm not like exclusive. I don't care if it's like whatever blues or, if you're in a band and you're writing songs and you want to make a record, please go to my website and contact me, email me, send me a thing. We'll work it out. I want to get bands in here. I want to help bands make great sounding records. I also want to document the making of those records and put them up on YouTube. Number one, to give value to anyone who's trying to record either themselves or other bands. Number two, to help promote the bands. You know what musicians and bands hate doing? Promoting themselves. Seriously, artists and musicians hate the idea of content and promoting themselves, and you just got to do it. It's not about whether you like to do it. It's just you got to do it if you want people to find your music and listen to you. You got to get in front of their face. We're sitting here waiting for you to come into our to come into our feed. So yes, please go to andrewmastersmusic.com and contact me. We can do tracking, production, mixing. I've been working on updating the booking page and putting some stuff that you guys can actually listen to that we've done on there. Also, check out the links in the description. I'm not signing off, by the way. I'm just saying this in case this does fail. And, that I've covered my bases on some of the things I want to touch on. I've got another hour that I can do this. So I'm going to kind of hit pause on this. We're going to try and get back to stereo. And I'm going to work more on this mix. So